Trump was unable to answer relatively simple questions, seemed completely disoriented, and actually became enraged with the questions that were being asked. Emotional instability, of course, maybe a little bit self-conscious about his lack of awareness of much of what's going on in his own administration. But here's Trump during the Q&A period yesterday asked, how far are you willing to go if Putin keeps escalating? Trump didn't even like being asked this question. Inappropriate.
If Putin escalates further, how far are you willing to go in response?
In what?
How far are you willing to go if Putin were to escalate, send more bombs in the coming days?
Don't ask me a question like that. How far? I want to get the war settled. They're not Americans that are dying in it, and I have a problem, and JD has a problem. It's a stance that he's had for a long time. They're not Americans dying, but there are a lot of people dying, and on something that should be able to be settled. And we all agree with that. This group of people, we want to defend our country, but
don't ask me a question like that. The problem with the question is that Donald Trump doesn't want to be put in a position where he actually has to say that he'll do anything. If Putin does X, Trump will do Y. That's too concrete. That's too specific. That would expose Trump because Trump wants to play tough. I'm doing 100% tariffs on Russia if they keep this up in 50 days, which means that if Putin does 49 days of whatever the hell he wants and then goes, Donald, it's time. We will stop doing what you didn't want us to do. Then there's no tariffs. Trump realizes that. Trump realizes this is totally phony. And Trump was asked, why are you giving him 50 more days, right? Like the implication being it would be much stronger, more believable, more credible if you, because he's been doing this stuff endlessly, if you didn't give him 50 days.
Any questions, please? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. What was the tipping point for you in making this decision? Was it a conversation with President Putin? Was it a piece of intelligence? And why are you giving 50 more days?
I think it's a very short period of time. I think, don't forget, I've just really been involved in this for not very long. And it wasn't initial focus. This is a Biden war. This is a Democrat war, not a Republican or Trump war.
When Russia invaded Ukraine, it was a Biden and Democrat war.
This is a war that would have never happened. It shouldn't have happened. A lot of people being killed.
And I think it is important, just for the sake of consistency and thoroughness, to remember that if Trump is correct, that Putin would not have gone into Ukraine had Trump won in 2020 and been president. Even if that's true, it doesn't necessarily mean what Trump wants it to mean, because it's possible that if Putin had a much friendlier American president in the White House, he might not have felt the need to go into Ukraine to try to further his goals and ambitions, because he could have done it with a soft president at the White House. So it's not really the own that Trump thinks that it is. Trump, continuing to talk about Putin, says Putin fooled a lot of people. Clinton was fooled by Putin, Bush, Obama, Biden, but Trump's special. I'm a special boy. My mommy told me he didn't fool me.
I speak to him a lot about getting this thing done. And I always hang up and say, well, that was a nice phone call. And then missiles are launched into Kiev or some other city. And I said, it's strange. And after that happens 3 or 4 times, you say, the talk doesn't mean anything. My conversations with him are always very pleasant. I say, isn't that a very lovely conversation? And then the missiles go off that night.
Right.
I go home, I tell the First Lady, I spoke to Vladimir today. We had a wonderful conversation. She said, oh, really? Another city was just hit. So it's like, look, he's, I don't want to say he's an assassin, but he's a tough guy. It's been proven over the years. He's fooled a lot of people. He fooled Bush. He fooled a lot of people. He fooled Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden. He didn't fool me.
Nope. Trump's the one guy. He's so special and so big and so strong and so smart. Trump's the one guy who avoided being fooled by Putin. What a guy. Let's give it 50 days, now 49. See if those tariffs ever happen. My bet is they do not. I don't have a cat myself, but many friends and family do. And lately they have all been talking about Smalls. So when Smalls came on as a sponsor, I wanted to learn more. Smalls is a fresh take on cat food because their recipes are protein packed, made with ingredients you would actually recognize from your own fridge. No preservatives, nothing artificial, real food made for cats. That's why cats.com and Forbes both named it best overall cat food. Friend of mine recently mentioned their cat seems excited when the Smalls boxes show up. They tried putting it side by side with the old food. The cat went straight for Smalls, which is a pretty good sign. If you've got a cat, give Smalls a try. Smalls is offering my audience 35% off plus an extra 50% off your first order with free shipping. Just go to smalls.com, use the code PACMAN. The link is in the description.